The longest match in modern Counter-Strike history? 400 kills? That sounds really funny.
Montiel. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman!
Overtime in sports is the pinnacle. Two teams have duked it out for all of regulation, but they are evenly matched. But it differs in certain sports. In football, yes, that football, the actual football, they kind of say just screw this. We're not kicking the ball around anymore. I'm taking that now. And now we are going to go straight to penalties, where certain teams can be better than others, but typically these always end in a quick, decisive result. Basketball, they get some extra time. When both teams are tied.
Who here is a soccer fan? I feel like penalty kicks are actually fucking hype. I feel like penalty kicks are kind of low-key cool as shit. It's like such a fucking aura, 1v1, tension, stressful, high intensity. Like, I think soccer is kind of boring. But I would watch a game where it's just penalty kicks, you know? And it's like so much stress on the goalie, dude. Wow. Like, you have to fucking instant react. Everyone blames you.
At the end of regulation, they give them 5 extra minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them 5 extra minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them another 5 minutes. If both teams are tied at the end of that 5 minutes, they give them another 5. As many events are, it was a Counter-Strike tournament just like any other. ESL Pro League Season 20, and the vibes are impeccable. On the B stream, a promising Fnatic lineup is taking on an upstart M80 team who are fresh off an upset with their NA prodigy, Lake. It's set up to be a solid match, but it's being eclipsed by a Mao's Imperial game that's going on the main stream. So who cares about the B stream? Well, folks, you might wanna. Wearing the commentator headset for this game is Cole Exner McHenry, a good friend of mine, my co-commentator, and this is his first season of ESL Pro League.
Okay.
Him, alongside Mike Winnick, will be lending their voice.
Does this still exist, ESL Pro League? I know a bunch of people tried to make like a Counter-Strike consistent league so they could make money. It still exists? Okay, cool.
To this game, and 10 players in the server will join him. The map veto comes through, and the first pick is M80s of Anubis, Counter-Strike's newest map into the pool. One that actually skews in the attacker's favor and requires a lot of CT side aggression in order to reclaim map control and garner more information. All this to say that you have to work really hard for every single defensive round. So if I went through all the rounds in this game, you might die of old age first. So let's get into it. Hop, skipping, and jumping deep into regulation, both teams trade CT side pistol rounds, setting up a nail-biter of a game. M80 are down 11-8, but are able to dig deep with some hard-fought rounds.
Sheesh.
First, it's a B execute, and then they eliminate that defender aggression and crush the eco. It is 11-11.
Okay.
But Fnatic are able to get up there first with a retake courtesy of Afro.
Intel Core.
This bomb will be planted. Work going to be required, and Blame F creeping closer. Oh! Rat can't nail it. It falls to Swisher. Clutch required. He'll take the first, but no! Blame F snap.
So with Fnatic sitting on that point,
so
M80 established a post plant on the B side, but they're down a player. However, the CTs don't have any utility. Nothing to break crossfires, nothing to stop trades.
No utility?
It's a bloodbath.
That's not as much of an issue, but it is still going to be her read. Spray down on the first, the second as well. They hold the line, and now it's all falling apart one by one. The bodies do drop, and it seems like we're destined for overtime. Afro Key makes the magic happen. No. Light will drown him, and we are going for more rounds.
Totally not foreshadowing there from Darth Mike. Welcome to overtime, or as many people would start calling it, undertime. Alrighty, folks, so let's see how overtime works in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is a very weird game. It's not like other sports where you just, like, score. In regulation, it's technically a first two.
Bro, I just thought of something. Counter-Strike overtime should be, you should send out your best player and they have to do a 1v1 on like a sniper map. That'd be so swag. Yeah, gulag type beat. That'd be so swag. Everyone would be so excited. It would take years. All right, well, they would do, it's a fucking, the map gets smaller or whatever. I don't know. 1 round sniper, 1 round knives.
13 rounds or a best of 24. Well, now it becomes a
1v1
best of
Bionicle
6 for
trivia.
the first team to win 4 rounds in overtime. If both teams score 3 out of the 6, they run another set of 6 rounds. And if both teams score 3 out of the 6, they run another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6 rounds, and another set of 6. After the first 3 rounds of each overtime, the attacking and defending sides swap, which is a big deal considering that this map is significantly attacker favored. The first OT leads off with M80 starting a 2-1 split on the T side. But Fnatic are utterly tenacious. At 14 all, in a man deficit, they hit some ridiculous entries to break open the B site and put Rec into an unwinnable situation. Fnatic, in this race to 16, strike match point first.
Okay.
Is the longest game in CS history gonna end in the first overtime? All right, it definitely didn't. The way it happens is what makes a game legendary. M80 stare down an opening disadvantage and have weak weaponry. Swisher gets annihilated on the entry, but young 19-year-old Lake will put his continent on his back.
But he can't capitalize. Lake gets one. The second. Lake holds the line. And Lake might just be that hero now. This young gamer playing off of each other. Lake might just do it all himself. He's looking for the ace, baiting out his shots. And it is going to be Lake with the ace to put us through to double overtime.
That's fucking awesome.
The first overtime is complete. It is 15-15. I'd actually started watching at this point. I was getting ready to go to the gym, and we'll check in later about whether or not I'm going to be going that day. For the stream, more viewers are starting to filter in. The mainstream game is interesting as a surprisingly weak MOUZ team is in the process of getting upset by Imperial, but this game starts to draw some buzz. A double overtime game is, it's pretty good. Now in double OT, M80 rack it up to 17. Lake, who in the first half was 5-8 and was saving non-stop, now has collected an ace and a triple kill in the span of 3 rounds. M80 themselves now reach match point with a perfectly timed B-pop.
One real bad one. Here comes the flood on in. Maddies gets there first. Maddies will stem the tide. What? And, okay, Slacks just knows to read that. It doesn't really do much to hold them off the line. Rec can still shut this all down, and that's exactly what he'll do. Rec looking to find that map point. It'll be Sin to find the final shot, but now 2 chances to close here for M80.
Is the longest game in Counter-Strike gonna end in double overtime?
I'm not a CSGO player, but
like I did kind of like in a previous video. Let's go ahead.
CSGO of all esports to me is the most fun to watch without playing. Like you can get it. I think even more than fighting games, I think Counter-Strike is actually, if you've played some shooters, you can get it, and it's a good esport. It's probably it's one of the best pure esports. They have really good commentators and they have really good camera angles in a way that most other FPS esports don't have. Rocket League is simple to understand the idea of ball into goal, but I find Rocket League, if you don't play it enough to know how good they are, a little boring. I find it to be a little boring because you can't tell the skill. I need someone to, but CS is very, the strategy is easier to grasp. I think it's one of the most beautiful esports. I think CS is a great esport. But I find soccer boring, so it's already
On 18-17, a brawl ensues in B main, landing a 3v3. But critically, Fnatic make the read. They commit their entire defense onto covering the next move of M80, leaving B main vulnerable to deal with a lurk. It works. Good mid-round play has landed Fnatic a 2v3 advantage, and they convert it cleanly with information on the next attack. The game continues with the intensity as we enter triple overtime. It is starting to get ridiculous. At this point, the B stream is overtaking the mainstream in terms of viewership. It's a nail biter to watch, and Twitter is starting to get its gears turning about the game. Guys, we're only like halfway through the game. For M80's Rec, he's in the midst of a pop-off map. He's a young gun in North America, but he typically falls off the radar often on the international stage. Well, he's at kill 34, and here's kill 35.
There's Rec. Oh, again. Good old reliable, straight on the entry.
That essentially instantly wins the round with Lake's follow-up. A young gun puts M80 up on yet another 2-1 split from the T side. M80 pulls themselves to map point after a Slacks op adventure for the Germerican fusion. Calling it German American is just kind of boring. Maybe we just call it like NATO or the #1 economy in the world with the #3 economy in the world. So a little history. Crims has played 55,000 rounds of Counter-Strike in his playing career. A decade of top-level play.
That's crazy.
Well, it looks like he wants to play a couple more as he runs through his smoke, double entries the A site, and keeps Fnatic in the game.
Quickly, and Crims again is looking to save Fnatic.
Fountain, oh, even landed the D shot, but it's not quite.
Quad.
You gotta get
OT.
tired now.
You know, there's like a
Like, you gotta
ninja
get tired,
tweet
all
that
the-
he tweeted out a couple years ago that was like, why don't they just hire NFL kickers to like kick field goals and never miss?
Tell him, Ninja.
And you can actually
Fucking tell him,
ask
Ninja.
that very same question when talking about Counter-Strike. Why don't teams just like hire offers that don't miss?
Good question.
Well, M80 did because Slax is on their team.
A little bit of shadow boxing here, and he should know where the last is. He's got a smoke and a molly. Oh, and he's got it off as well. Little celebration there, but there's not time to waste because it's full 10-second defuse. Slacks in the 1v2.
Fnatic immediately.
Crazy how long CSGO players stay in shape compared to a game like LoL. I guess League is always fucking changing. I mean, look, Faker's been a top player for a long time, but I do think it's what you said. My understanding is that a huge part of it is patches, constant patches in games like League, where your depth of, you know, one of the things that makes you a pro is your ability to read the situation, know who's going to win a fight, etc. But when it gets patches, that knowledge is out the window. It's actually holding you back. Someone new who grinds the new patch is literally better. They don't have the old muscle memory. So as long as you keep the fundamentals the same and like don't have like, that's why, you know, StarCraft players, it's like the same people for a long time, even though it's more mechanical. It's just, you know, the game doesn't get a ton of patches.
Bounce back though for, you guessed it, another 2-1 split at the side swap.
Melee, same thing. Melee.
No
Melee,
one can
like Mango's
sweep
been playing forever. Hungerbox been playing forever. It's like all these old people because the game doesn't get patched.
behalf. Look, I'm not NA biased, I swear, but it is M80 who are handing out the highlights here. At 23 all, despite being in a 4v5, M80's in-game leader is able to sell a master stroke of a round, as all of Fnatic are caught out of position by an E-Box pop.
Is realizing time, but he's going to be down for the count, and now they're in so much trouble. They're completely out of position. Crims has the potential for that fast flank, and he might actually catch. He does indeed. Slacks will strike first, and now it's all on to Blame F. Running out of time, running out of chances. It's M80 on top with 24. One more round required, and they can put this...
But they just can't complete the last rep and get themselves to the magic 25.
But we seem to be destined for more rounds. We've had 48 rounds.
That's 2 maps.
But how about 49?
We're gonna stalemate at 24 all. It is quintuple overtime, and we've now played 2 maps in 1. The year's 2035, and Fnatic versus M80 are still duking it out. Rek has over 10,000 kills and has entered A every single round. Blame F on the other side getting exit kills. M80 have rebranded 6 more times. Crims is still signed to Fnatic. Oh, and here's another time where Slacks forgets he can miss an op shot.
After looking for a shot, Crims very late in towards this B main, but Slacks isn't looking for it. Fortunately, Slacks, Crims will not be able to nail in the spray. 43rd kill for that man on the up, and he's all smiles.
I like how...
Right before the split, where a CT round could mean the world to Fnatic on such an attacker-sided map, are staring down M80's lowest player, who is thrown into a 1 versus 3.
It's 1v3?
Swisher has been the lowest performer of the map. He's becoming a legacy player here in North America. Back in 2020, 2021, he was touted as the future of NACS. But now he's a mainstay. He's no longer a star player. He plays the more difficult roles. It's time for him to prove his worth.
Be Swisher. It has to all be Swish. Michael Schmidt steps to the plate, knocks the first 2 out because he's got him on the spray, and the headshot to boot. 1v3, no problem here for Swish. It's the big slap for the man.
Fnatic immediately turned to the T side with some monster entries to get us to 26-26. It's now Fnatic's turn to get match point. If Swisher did not give them that breathing space, it would be over. If Fnatic win this round, it will tie the longest LAN map in CS2 history. 28-26, the Mongols versus Tyloo at Extremes Land Asia. If M80 wins, who knows how far we can go. So Fnatic are going to put it to a rush. They're going to hope the B side is weak off the rip. They're running out of ideas. You've ran every single round in your playbook at this point.
You don't have anything left.
The point where I kind of like realized like this is a really long game was kind of when we had ran all the rounds we have, maybe like 2 or 3 times, and we have also tried to create new rounds, and it was kind of like when we thought of the solution, it was kind of like we kind of have to go back to some of the things we have done because there's nothing else to do in this map right now.
And so in the hopes that that B side is weak, it isn't.
Another chance here. It's been a while since they've last had it, but now it's looking like Slacks on a revenge tour here. Takes out Body out of the gates. Now it tests the Riflers, and they will hold strong.
Molotov to force out Lake. There's no smoke for it, but he's still going to get the kill. Sacrifices his life, but it's well worth it because now Slacks on the line can put us through. We're going again. Overtime number 6. Bring it on.
Sextuple overtime. And a new LAN map record. So both teams could have won a full BO3 with the amount of rounds they've collected. And instead, it's still map 1, guys. By the way, this is still map 1.
Oh, it's map
Fnatic
1 of a best of
with
3?
some clean rounds and are stabilizing
Oh,
it.
it's so miserable. I'd actually be so tired. Oh, I would... That's so miserable, dude. Oh, I'd be so eepy. Like, even if you win this... Oh, dude, what if it went... Does it go best of 3 all the way? I don't even tell me. But imagine you win this, then you fucking lose the next one, have to go to the 3rd map.
Individually, as Slacks finally hits a rough patch of form. They have a 3v5 and are about to sweep the T side to give them 3 match points in what would be a death sentence in this complete nail-biter. Sin cuts down the lurk as Fnatic start a mad dash to A. But then they double back. Body has some angles into that B site. Lake, at the very last moment, came through with a devastating gamble. He tucks away at the back of the site.
Oh, no.
And as Body, the in-game leader, enters the site, he sees Swisher. In the mind of Fnatic, they had just hoped that all of M80 had rotated A. Confirmation bias clouds their thoughts. They thought that was the anchor. They thought that was the last player. They could not be more wrong.
They may not expect Lake in this corner.
No.
There's not going to be utility to clear him. Lake's going to strike for 1, 2, drops that bomb, and here it goes. No clean half for you. Afro's got to do it all, and Lake will not surrender.
M80 stop a full T-side sweep and fend off map point. There isn't even any yelling at this point. We're over 2 hours deep into map number 1, where a game typically lasts 45 minutes. Imagine if an NFL game suddenly decided to last 6 hours, because there's potentially 2 more maps. So, checking into whether or not I was going to be going to the gym, I decided that my pencil arms could wait another day. I also want to mention that despite being 58 rounds deep, these teams are still playing, you know, readable Counter-Strike. This is still an entertaining and very watchable game. And so a masterstroke B execute on a weakened site gives M80 another map point. And so they put it over to yet another B site play. But this time, Fnatic are there with 3.
There's your E-Box prong taken down. Blame F and Afro finding success, but the site hold is good again. And they will look to continue to break records as Slacks is now left in the 1v3 looking to break this one open. One back turn, a reload for Body makes him not available for the trade.
No. He's got to go. They'll double swing, and we are going again. 60 rounds was not enough. Bring on more Counter-Strike.
Welcome to the meat grinder, folks. It is 30-30. It is 7 overtime. All right, so now after our 7th 2-1 split, no one has been able to sweep a half. There's a very interesting technical pause.
Wait, what?
We have a little bit of an insight into the chat. Body asking who needs to pee. Swisher, I wreck me for past 20 rounds. Crim's
bathroom break.
dying here.
Bathroom break.
Look, wreck bladder issues after this for sure, and we are in fact.
Everyone's got to pee and also refresh their stimulants, dude. They all got to. You can't play without Addy for this long, dude. You got to come down.
Getting a bathroom break here.
Get their Addy.
Oh my goodness, we're getting a break? I don't know what the rules are on this, folks. We've never had to do this before, but 64 rounds in, it seems like it's time for a pee break.
Yeah.
Do we take one?
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to me right now.
I'm not familiar with this as an option. It seems like we're going to get a chance to empty our bowels, come back in, new men. See you for round 65 in just a flash.
The first ever tournament mandated bathroom break. But it is Fnatic who finally have their first set of 2 match points. M80 have begun to make oversteps, and Fnatic have been punishing them. And with that, they've also broken the CS2 round record. The round record in CS2 so far to this point was 34-30 between Rhino and Zero Tenacity. The scoreline is 33-31. It is all but guaranteed. We are now 65 rounds deep and counting, but it's up to M80 to make this even more difficult to beat. How many more rounds of Anubis would we like to play? They need to defend 2 map points on an unfavored CT side on Anubis to extend play.
Let's see it.
Before we enter this round, I actually want to let you know that Slacks has actually been playing a lot of his Counter-Strike with a medical affliction. He was born with the ability that he can't miss an op shot.
And Sin's able to collect one at the very least. Slacks back into the angle. Slacks striking with an AWP. Slacks again. Oh my god! On his back and carrying them over the line.
You gotta be kidding me. Slacks does it again. This is
Out from this op, we saw the big moment from Swisher, the 1v3 to keep on fighting.
This game is electric. Crims with 55,000 rounds of Counter-Strike to his name, and Afro with 52 kills in a 2 versus 3.
It's all onto Crims, and his knees will buckle here at the finish line. M80 keep us fighting. 66 rounds is not enough.
They're going to need to play more rounds and more kills because M80 are trying to make this record real hard to beat. They put up the defense, and we go again to overtime number 8.
Let's go!
M80 pick up their 2-1 split, as they usually do, and they've won 4 defensive rounds in a row. Somehow, a team has come alive 3 hours deep into a single match. Like in contextual sports, there's a lot of downtime. There's commercial breaks, you can sit on the bench, then come back into the game.
You've been playing like
They have been
non-stop.
playing 2 hours and 45 minutes of non-stop Counter-Strike, where every 15 seconds of freeze time is the only downtime you have. And
That's
then you're
crazy.
immediately back into game. And
High-level
immediately
Counter-Strike.
needing to focus. It is a battle of attrition, but both teams are still playing good CS. And so the Boxers get in the ring for round 70. And I think Fnatic are the first team to truly break.
calling in the troops, but is this going to be re-aggression? Because if they do, they're going to walk into a crossfire. We'll see how effective they are breaking apart. This crossfire is body spotted as well, and Sin will knock both of them down.
M80 have now just flipped the script. They have 2 map points.
Okay.
Folks, I'm going to say it.
This is it.
The suspense ends here. It's done. There
Okay.
are no more overtimes.
Okay.
Let's chisel this match into Counter-Strike history.
The initiative slipping round the net. There's no way this will be expected. Afro has no idea, and it might not just be
It's
Afro
over.
in the sightlines. It's Maddie's as well. Afro
got
down.
him. Dead to
The
rights.
bomb planted for them now. No smoke to cover this off. They went for the tick, but Maddie's finds the first. The drop
1v1.
on in. It has to be
1v1.
Crims.
1v1.
And a
Crims
map
for
of
Swisher.
biblical proportions. It takes a
got him.
master stroke to end, but it
Okay,
is
we did it.
M80 to put this one to rest, to finally end it. The war is over, and M80
God,
reign
that would suck to
victorious on Anubis.
That would suck to lose.
Wait. But folks, that was only map 1. Map number 2 is Inferno, and I'm going to skip a few and say it went to overtime again. The commentators and everyone is losing their mind, but luckily it is settled in 1. M80 complete the marathon. They take it 16-13 and complete a 2-0. 2 days
Nice.
later, they utterly drum their next opponent in Imperial and exit Group C as the number 1 seed.
Let's go!
As the underdog team from North America. So who knows what else will come out of M80. As they
trial by
say,
fire.
suffering builds character. Thanks for watching.
Dude, it would have been hilarious if they won that insane game 1 and then just lost map 2 and 3 like quick. You know, grind tooth and nail for fucking 1 map win. That's cool. That's cool. They won. Fire video. Cool story. I like esports stories like that.